Hey, everybody. Oh my gosh, Deb, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I have a furry cat sleeping in here with me, and the sun is shining in Arizona, and I can't really complain.
I just noticed what earrings you're wearing. I can't wait for you to share all the fun stuff you've been up to. They look so good.
You love these beads.
That fuchsia color on those flowers is so like rare these days. I feel like um that's definitely like a vintage sort of find because that's a really expensive color to make from what I understand. So,
It's delicious. It's a delicious color, and there's actually like if you look at them, there's almost like two shades of this.
yes.
So I tried to in my one in something I haven't shown yet. You kind of use them to make sure that I had both colors, represented. So they're pretty.
Awesome. Well, I was sitting here trying to think there's been one other time that I've done a live video, maybe with someone else or maybe by
No,
myself.
it was
And
me. It was
oh, are
me.
you serious? Why do I keep doing this to you? Oh my gosh. I was having this like flashback of like, there's been another time where I didn't show my face.
That was me.
Oh my goodness. Well, you're just like a trooper for putting up with this nonsense.
Well, I think we joked about I could like try and like act like I'm speaking, when you're speaking, and we could really mess people up like, wait a minute.
Oh my gosh, I do remember. It's all coming back to me now. Oh, and there's the dogs that I was saying I was hoping wouldn't be in the background.
Mm. Well, we
Oh,
love those dogs. All of
I
your fans love
know.
those dogs.
We do love those dogs. They're just a little bit well, and just to be so everyone knows I'm not trying to be too much of a drama queen, but I was blubbering to Deb before we went live, and the dogs are a little keyed up, and everybody's just a little off because my husband's been out of town for the majority of the time over the last like 6 weeks now. His brother is in hospice care out of state, and it's just been a little rough. So sweet Deb has been like therapist tonight and has been here to like help us do something fun with the beads because I'm probably just a little bit less useful than normal this evening.
Oh,
But the dogs definitely, it's like they usually, oh, see, I knew that was going to happen. Here, I'm going to try to turn my camera again. So they tend to have a little less anxiousness when Chris is here because
yeah.
I'll separate them from me and he'll keep them calm. But I'm a one woman show these days, so
Yeah, and I know everybody will agree with me that, you got to take care of you, and if the dogs bark, it's fine. And if things are not perfect, it's fine. And I just hope that, we can get you to giggle or laugh a little bit tonight, and maybe like put some of that stuff at least a little bit off to the side for an hour or so, and we just hope the best for you, my dear, and your family.
oh, thank you so much, sweetheart. Well, I see Sherry's here. Hello. I always want to say Cherie. Maybe that is the way you pronounce it. It's so festively spelled. I love it. Let me see some other eyeballs out there. I am gonna quick grab waffles and shut this door so that she maybe will have a little less reason to whine. But Deb, tell us about what you've got going on right now. I know we were just talking about some big plans.
Yeah, I've got a number of things going on in the next few months. But let's see, for starters, at the end of May, I'm going to be part of Gollum Retreats. So if any of you are familiar with Gollum beads and Damiana Studio beads, they have a retreat that they are hosting. They're going to do it twice a year. They did one last year, and I talked with some folks about the retreat that went and said it was just amazing. The Gollum folks are in Bulgaria. They're about 2 hours, I think 2 or 3 hours from Sofia, which is the capital of Bulgaria. And they decided, so the retreat is very much about making beads and pendants and also good food, touring the area, wine tasting, a whole bunch of fun things. But they wanted to bring the process full circle and have a designer teach everybody how to put their beads and pendants and things that they made into a piece of jewelry. So they asked me to join them for a workshop as part of the retreat, and I'm so honored. The folks at Gollum and Damiana from Damiana Studio are the loveliest people. And so I'm very excited. So oh gosh, I should know these dates by heart. But if you go to gollumretreats.com, you can get all of the information about the retreat. They do have another retreat planned for later in the year. And I think they also have a secondary kind of retreat. So we would love to have some folks join us. There are spots available, so we'd love to have folks come and learn about making, ceramic beads and learn about the country and just kind of have a good time and make memories. So I'm really honored to be part of that, excited about that, that little adventure.
I actually believe that somebody I met through the bead store years ago moved to Bulgaria like a year ago. I think her significant other is originally from there.
Oh
And
my
so like I
gosh.
still follow her on social media, and she makes it look like the most magical place on earth. And I did find that website and post the link for you, Deb.
Awesome. Thank you. I mean, the couple of the ladies that went, they were in Tucson this year, and I got to chit chat with them, and they also posted a lot of photographs from the event. So the Gollum folks posted photos, but they also posted photos. And I mean, it's all the cobblestone roads and the cafes and all the beautiful things that we think about when we think about, going abroad. And
Yes, in Europe, in that sort of part of the world, right?
yeah, so so I think it's going to be a wonderful time, and I know that the ladies that went also developed this incredible bond. So the friendship, new friendship opportunities, and the creative inspiration of just kind of learning from people who make beautiful things is really exciting. So I'm thrilled. I'm so honored to be part of it, and I'm already like starting to pack. Like I'm already starting to put like what I'm bringing with me together because I'm
Oh,
excited.
you and Sheila need to talk. She's been packing for the bead cruise for a month now, and it's still like a month away.
I'm all about that. I'm all about like, let's be prepared. Let's make sure we have our outfits coordinated. Like, so yes, we should chat, she and I.
For sure. Hi, Susan. Hi, Cynthia. Susan says that the retreat sounds wonderful. It does. It makes me like a little bit sad, only that like you and I are doing something like that separately at the beginning and end of the year. And so we don't get to do it together this year, but maybe someday.
I don't want to, I don't want to say anything to jinx myself, but maybe next year's a possibility. Just gotta kind of ride it out and see where things go. And if all the chips fall where they should and where they need to, I'd love to do that trip with you. That's another thing that's really something I'd really, really like to do and experience. So
Yeah.
putting my fingers crossed
Yes,
for that
I'll
one.
cross my fingers and toes, as they say. I should drop the I'll drop the link for anybody who's not familiar. I will be traveling to the Czech Republic in October. This will be my third trip, the second time teaching and helping lead the trip, and we're super excited. We just got 4 more travelers that joined us today. I know. I'm
That's
so
great.
excited.
That's so
So
good.
it's going well. And if anybody out there is considering traveling in the spring, make sure and check out Deb's event. And if you would need to wait till the fall, then we hope you can join us in Prague.
Or both.
Oh, yeah. Definitely encourage both.
That would be awesome.
Oh my goodness, that's such a good point. Like we both would do both
if we
it was
if
an
we
option.
could. If we could. If there weren't mortgages and,
Oof, yeah.
other bills and things like that. Yeah.
The adulting of life. Well, while you are getting anything set up that you need to, Deb, I'm gonna just share for a minute about what I've got in front of me, because we are in a very special week at Beads to Live By. This is the subscription registration week. So you guys have through Sunday, I think it's through the 30th, that you can sign up for the second quarter of the Curated Collection subscriptions. And I'm going to put the link in the comments now. Excuse me. So basically, we do a monthly subscription delivery to our customers. You can choose between just the seed bead subscription, or you can do the seed bead and the 2-hole bead. All of that information is at the link, but we switched from doing like a monthly billing to this year we're doing a roughly a week-long registration process where people can get on board at least through when the number of slots sells out, if it happens before the date of the end of the registration enrollment period. But once you subscribe for that quarter, then you get those like 3 months of deliveries without having to worry about availability. And I am talking about that partially because Deb and I both have projects here with different parts of the subscriptions from the last 2 or 3 months in front of us. And my intention was to maybe show this technique tonight, but we'll see. I'm going to let Deb take the reins, and then if we get around to it, we will. Otherwise, I'll do it as a separate video. But this is just a simple stitched chain that I really needed to go with this piece. And my good friend Heather Powers has been doing a workshop series this year where you get to do a lot of self-care as you do some beadwork. And so the necklace is part of that. It's the Creative Circle. I'll make sure and link that at some point for you guys to check out. And then my beaded chain was born out of something that I needed to go with this piece. So that's my story. I'm going to highlight your camera here, Deb. Oh, or take away all the other. You still there?
I'm still here.
Oh my goodness, what is happening? This is ridiculous. Here we go. Okay. There you are. It's like I clicked a button and it took away all of the other videos.
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, thank you, Cynthia and Susan.
So I've got it's hard for me to pick favorites, but I've got some beads from, and I don't know, you have to help me with the timing of these.
Yeah, those were from the February deliveries.
Okay.
And mostly the companion bundles.
So these table cut beads are, first of all, like epic. So they are They're one of my favorites. So being in the Southwest, anything that's got like a turquoise tone to it, is, going to be something I enjoy. And then pink is my favorite color. So these flowers are so incredibly fun, and I love this flower shape. This is like a bellflower shape, right? Is that right?
So that one probably, but then it's like top drilled because it's
Yeah.
the drop. So yeah, that seems about right. I could probably even narrow down the description, but I think that's a great description of it. I was more hesitating, like, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm an expert enough to like comment on that.
I think they're bellflowers.
Yes.
I've worked with them in a lot of different designs, and these actually have a drill up top where you can stack them. So I did just a fun bracelet. So using the table cuts and then using trios of those flowers. And you'll see when you get these, or if you have these, you can take a look at them. There's like two shades of them. And so I put them in trios around the bracelet. And then I used those beautiful, like frosted, orangey seed beads. And I thought they would add a fun, playful, continuity color throughout the whole design. And then I really wanted to put like a little cluster at this end, but I had finished the bracelet and I realized I missed the spot to create the cluster. So even though these have a side drill across the top, I still put them on head pins and a little ball end head pin. So it almost creates a secondary, like a faux flower look with the head pin in it, which I was surprised by when I saw them all come together. So
Well,
it's
and the way that you clustered them too, Deb, like you're just so smart about these things. It works so well. I had to stare at the pictures you were sending me so carefully to even tell that they were attached differently. It's really smart. I love it.
And so they're just attached that way at the end, but the rest of them are just strung right onto the wire, which is like the beading wire. So I mean, when you put three of them together, they automatically want to push each other in different directions. And then when I did the earring, I put them all on a head pin, and they're just all like pushing each other out into different directions, which is fun. If you have a perfection problem, you may not like the fact that there's not like it's not like a perfect circular design. One's going to be a little higher up, but I kind of love it. I kind of love the sort of wild and crazy growing pink flowers, on a head pin, just all strung on to the head pin.
Well, I think it looks phenomenal, and I, I just, it's so perfect. Like that set, I've really been in love. Like I have access to a lot of beautiful beads, so I try not to take unnecessary credit for like sometimes it's just like what you have available. And when you have as much as I do at your fingertips, it's like hard to put a bad combination of beads together. But I've
Yes.
been so in love with the combinations of the um, companion bundles this last 3 months. I mean, I've been so inspired by the color combinations that I chose, and it's been a lot of fun, to be honest.
I still think that you are one of the masters out there in terms of putting beads together, putting colors together. I mean, here's what I wanted to make today, and this is the combination of beads. So I love a dagger, and these are two whole daggers. They're super fun. I mean, these are just crazy good. They're, kind of that clear copper on one side, and then that really cool finish on the other that's purple and pink and green. And I don't know, every color. And then these orange, which is also another favorite, like these 2-hole, these are
The
tile.
tiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those with those, interesting. And then bring in this beautiful blue. And I mean, this is a really interesting combo. So I put together this fun little wonky earring,
The
which
wonky
I
earring.
sent it I sent it to Cassandra, and I said I sent the picture and the caption was too weird.
And you should know better than to ask me a question like that. The answer is never going to be yes.
Well, I mean, if it really is, you got to tell me.
No, that's the whole point, is like there's life's too short to not wear funky jewelry and try new combinations of things, because like, let's just say it, there's a lot of beaded jewelry out there. We have seen a lot of beaded jewelry, so we've got to keep pushing the envelope so that we can like come up with new fun things.
Yeah, I love playing with the 2-hole beads, and I love the different colors and textures. And so your curated collections are perfect for playing around and doing something interesting and different. And, I'm sure somebody's probably done something like this. So, heck, I don't know if this was my brain or someone else's brain, but to make this into a bracelet would also be super fun. But I thought, let me just make a fun, easy earring. I mean, this is super, super easy to do. So let me grab a little mat. I mean, I'm sure some of your folks are probably like, yeah, I've done something like that. I've done it before.
I honestly don't think I've seen an earring that was laid out like that. And I think it's a great, you have a wonderful knack for creating projects that will translate from like one piece of jewelry to another. Like you were just talking about, this could easily be a bracelet. So I think it's really excellent for people who wouldn't wear a long earring. They can just translate it into the other type of jewelry, but like, it makes a great earring. Like we've said it before, I love a big earring.
Yeah, and I think this could be a shorter earring too. Like you could
Oh yeah,
you could
delete like a little bit of the design.
yeah. So in the most simplest of terms, so I'm starting with the beads that are going to be part of the end, or one of the ends. So both ends will be strung the same, but it's 6 seed beads, and these are 15s. They are tiny, and then 1 tile bead, and then 2 seed beads, and then you're going to go through your dagger. And this is a 2-hole dagger, so you can imagine what I'm thinking about is we're going to be going through it more than once. Well, actually, we're going to go through the tile and this one more than once to get everything synced up. So you're going to want to go through your daggers a little bit differently as you add them, so that you have this fun look here. So I'm going to get as much onto my needle to start with. And I don't pick up beads off my mat. That's just
Well, when you're adding a few at a time, it's totally understandable. And I feel like when you're on camera, I add my beads differently than when I'm just working at my own pace and whatever. So
yeah. It's much more stressful for me to pick them up off the mat than it is to pick them out of my finger or something like that, or just put them on. I don't know why that is. It just is. So that's what we got. So the second dagger, I think I alternated. Yeah, I alternated which hole I put put the thread through. So hopefully I remember exactly how I did the other one, because if If this one is different, then they're really going to be wonky earrings.
Well, asymmetry is in. I was just being informed by a younger person than myself. What size thread are you using, Deb?
So I'm using Fireline. Let me show you what I got here. I've got the 6-pound Fireline.
Awesome.
So
thank you.
that's my preference, although I know it's not everybody's preference, but that's what I like to work with for this kind of a project.
Well, and from what I've seen so far, for those that are interested, you could use as small as the 6-pound, but you could use all the way up to a 10-pound wildfire, I bet, with this type of design and not have to worry about, like, you could still fit your needle through the holes of the beads, like the 15s and stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. So you want a total of 4 daggers and a total of 5 tile beads. And I start with a tile bead and end with a tile bead. Although if you wanted to do the opposite, that could work too. So it's all about just kind of coming up with something you want to put together. I'm sure there are a bunch of other ways this could be done too.
I just threw the supply list up on the screen for anybody that wants to screenshot that or take a picture.
Cooly booly. All right. So I've got all of the beads on. Now I'm going to just add 6 more seed beads at the bottom here. So, and actually, I don't know if this will be the top or the bottom because they're exactly the same.
Oh, that's so convenient.
But yeah, 1, 2, and the little ones, you got to really look to count because they be tiny. I was watching a live from a fellow designer. I think it was end of last week, and they were talking about 15s and going on and on about, oh God, I can't use 15s, and I just was laughing because I so love them and so enjoy them. So I'm like, hey, I like them.
The world would not be complete without size 15 seed beads. There's too many things that you need a tiny bead to fit into a space for.
Yes, seriously. And there's even things that I don't know about because I don't do some of those fancy projects that everybody does yet. But
oh my gosh, you're hilarious. There's even things I don't know about.
But I find them just delightful because they add such amazing dimension even to stringing designs. I mean, really, really cool stuff. I think I have. Oh no, it went through. Okay.
I was like, oh no, this is a valuable lesson for everybody, but no.
Once in a while you get one that doesn't.
So yes, while we're on that topic, everybody, most of these types of beads come strung with just a thread through one of the 2 holes. So when you get a strand of 2-hole tiles or daggers or any number of other multi-hole beads, they rarely will have the thread through both holes, like the strung part of the display string. And because of that, every once in a while you'll get a plugged hole, and it's just better to like triple check that as you're putting your needle through like the first hole that you're going to use. Just like stab the other hole just to make sure.
Yeah, I didn't double check any of these, so let's just hope we don't run into that.
The colors you're using are, it's interesting. It has a lot to do with, I think, the finishes they put on them and how many layers there are and how easy it is to see a plugged hole, because a lot of it is a very hands-on process when it comes to the manufacturing. And I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of like human eyeball checking of like whether the holes are plugged or not. Yeah. And there's some colors that are fairly easy to see that on, and the like daggers that you're using are probably one of the colors that it's harder to like catch that if there's an
Yeah.
error.
Yeah, I could see that. And they're, I mean, it happens with all kinds of beads too. Like sometimes you get, a bag of beads and
Like
you go,
super duos and
yeah.
yeah.
So it can happen. And I think I've even seen it as like a disclaimer on some websites, like, just know that you might get one or two that aren't perfect. So if you're really worried about the count of
Perfection.
beads,
Yeah.
that you double up your order or something like that. So it's always
I think that
good.
was one of the biggest things that made an impression on me the first year we went to the Czech Republic and saw the manufacturing process for a bunch of the different Czech beads. I turned to my friend that was with me and I said, I will never complain about another bead that has an imperfection ever again, because I watched women stand and like, I'm trying to think of something to compare it to. The fire polish process is like a rod of beads that's set into the machine, and then they are squeezing. It's like a triggers type of action with a hand in order to like turn and notch the like facets into the fire polish beads.
Wow.
And when I saw how hands-on some of these processes were, I was like, yep, I can't ever judge a bead for not being perfect ever again.
Never, never, never again.
Never again.
So I have a
Oh,
little stopper bead on, but I've got all the beads. So I've got all the beads on the piece and I've gone all the way up through the other two holes. So what I want to do now is I'm just going to go down through where I started. So I'm going to go, and then I'll take my stopper out, but I'm going to go down through. In fact, I might take it out before I get too far here. So let me see if I can get that guy off. Yep. So I'm going to just go down and create that, that loop up top. Let's see if I can get it to, do I have a knot there? I sure do. Let me get that out if I can. Leave it up to me to always have something go wrong.
Oh, it's not you. It's all of us. It's the curse of the live video.
So let me get that guy. Okay. I'm going to just thread on my needle again really quick. So we're just going to go down through that, that other little section of seed beads and create another loop up top. So like I said, both ends are the same. So you'll just create a loop at either end, and then you can pick where you want to, what you want the bottom to be and what the top to be. So, all right. So I got the stopper bead out and the little knot out, and I'm just going to very carefully go through those little beads up top. And I'm sorry I'm not closer to the camera for you to see that, but
No, we know what's happening there.
and I like to kind of take it slow and go through as many as I feel comfortable going through at a time. And I'm sure some folks can, go through a lot, and I probably can too if I'm not doing this on camera. So I just want to make sure I don't skip a bead, because that's also something that can very easily happen, as most of you probably know that as well.
Well, and I think it's easier the smaller the seed beads too. Like the 15s are the hardest for me to check, like every single one that I'm, sticking my needle through, because I'll do the same thing that you're doing and go through a bunch at the same time.
Yeah. And I mean, you could literally go through each one if you wanted to do that. That might be, a little tedious, and it might be a lot longer to conclusion of the project, but you could certainly do that if you're more comfortable doing that. So I'm going to go back now. I'm all the way to the other end, and I have a little loop up here, which could be a little pointy if you want it to be. You can straighten it out however you'd like as you're kind of getting this all tightened up. So let's see. Ooh, I've got the piece all in that loop there. Oh.
Regularly something I deal with too.
Oh, okay. Good. All right, let's see. Oh, I don't want to be through there. So let me go back through there. See, this is where like all of my beginner-ish things rear their ugly head, is showing what I'm doing, because I still consider myself a beginner for these kinds of things. And wow, I'm really messed up here.
I was having major thread problems today too. I was trying out a new thread actually, and I was all tangled up and knotted most of the way I broke it at one point. I can't remember the last time I broke a piece of thread.
Oh, that's like probably one of the most frustrating things that can happen.
Yeah, wasn't fun. Luckily, it was bead embroidery, so that's a lot easier to stop and start a thread on.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, I am all situated and going in the right direction. So you guys know what I'm doing here. I'm just getting this all reinforced. So I think for the first one, I was able to get through, I think I did at least 2 passes through everything. So that's what I'm going to try to do here, and get us all tightened up and let everything go where it's supposed to go, and make sure I got no wonky beads. And I kind of like the fact that this piece kind of wants to be a little bit wonky because of the way all the beads string on. Those daggers kind of want to do a little something different. So it kind of pulls everything in a wonky way. So I like the wonkiness of this. That's kind of what appealed to me.
It's fantastic. And I just was looking at, I think it was Banana Republic had a bunch of jewelry that looked like it could easily be mimicked with daggers, like bracelet, earrings, all this stuff. And I just like within the last 2 days was kind of ogling them, thinking about all the ways that I could mimic it. This is you're totally in my brain.
I also made a design for, so I some of you might know I'm on the design team for Art Beads, and I do some content for them throughout the course of the month. So I usually do a couple of like YouTube videos and things for them as well. And the project that I turned in today is called the Quirky Bird bracelet and earrings. And that's all I'm going to tell you.
I can't wait now. Torture.
It's just the combination of things just made all the quirkiness come out. Like it just, all the quirkiness came all out there. So I'm a bit quirky. So I embraced it and just went with it. So this is kind of quirky too. Like, it's got some quirky color combination and quirky shapes and finishes, and
it's perfect to get us ready for like spring and summer though, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so too. So let me just get back up through. I'm just going to go up the other side. So if you're starting to fall asleep, don't fall asleep just yet.
Stop it.
I know this isn't like the most interesting thing to watch, but you can see too, I've kind of got like a little bit of a point to the end. The other end is a little less pointy. So I know you can kind of manipulate that as you go. So it's totally up to you how you want it to be when it's completely finished. So I'm grabbing onto that tail, and it's not even that long. All right, it's almost there, you guys. But I really do love that these collections have all of these really cool colors and finishes, because that's what inspires me. Like, I get these and I think, what can I put together? Like, I don't know if people would put these three things together normally. But I'm always looking for just fun colors and fun things to put together.
Well, even though I know everybody gets like that starting off point of the color combinations of certain beads together when it comes to the subscriptions, like you do such beautiful things with it. I think, people could still take my funky fun colors and like make them look awful, right? Like I feel like it's still possible. So I appreciate your eye for like the things that work really well together.
All right, I feel like this is good. I would maybe go through it one more time if I wasn't keeping you all hostage here while I do it. But it's so I'm going to take my needle out, and this is just how I do it. You might not do it this way, but I'm literally going to tie this in a knot, because I'm back up to where my tail is, right at the end there. And I'm literally just going to do a couple of overhand knots. You could go back down and, do a couple of, other passes after you've tied it off. There's obviously a bunch of different ways you could finish it off, but I literally just knotted right next to my loop. And, I feel okay about that. I would put these on afterwards, and I've got my thread burner, so I'm just going to cut the majority of my thread off. I don't like the really long pieces while I do this, but I'm just going to use my thread burner to kind of cut down there and get these little ends off. And now we've got our second earring. Now the question is, did Deb leave out the other ear wire that matches that one? Let's see.
Deb, I am so grateful to hear you say something like that, because I'm sure I have more than one pair of earrings that like both earrings are complete. One of the ear wires is on, and I have no flipping clue where the other ear wire is. And they're such unique, like older tier cast ear wires that I don't have more of them.
Fortunately, I always have. This is like my little stash of, like, there's maybe 3 or 4 pairs of ear wires. There's a clasp. There's some jump rings, and this is like my emergency if I didn't prepare, like I forgot something in a class or something. I always have that little box right here, and it hasn't let me down yet.
I have so many little decorative boxes and things like that I've even like gotten from other countries or that are vintage. That is such a brilliant idea. I just am not worthy. That is so smart.
Because so I could literally stand up or just slide my chair back. You guys would never know, and open up a bin, which I have done on camera. But it's just easier if I could just grab it from right here.
No, I love that. Oh, so they're so fun, Deb. Oh my gosh.
Cute. I think they're fun. Let's see. We need a name for them. Maybe I can get some help from who's watching. Like,
yeah. Audience
like wonky something, or I don't know, like what could we call these? Because they are wonky. They're a little. They've got a little bit of, they've got a little bit of shine to them, a little bit of matte. They're 3 colors. What could we call these, you guys?
And the first time you showed them to me, I assumed that you changed the counts on your seed beads to get the like wonkiness, but it's just because of the difference in the size of the parts of the dagger you're stringing, right?
Yeah.
That's just crazy how much it changes that. How cool.
So I really didn't intend it, but as I started to put it together, I'm like, okay, that's cool how that does that.
Oh.
So I don't know. We need a name for these. And I don't know what to call them. So we'll have to see if anybody comes up with something. And if not, maybe I'll do some workshop to find a name for them.
Well, and I usually can like spit some things out pretty quick, but this is such a sign of like where I'm at right now.
Yes, I get it.
My creative brain is just like, nope, you don't get the extra ideas today.
And what's cool is I could still make I could make a bracelet. I've got plenty of daggers left. I've got plenty of tiles left.
Yeah, I bet there's at least 25 daggers on one of those strands. So if people are like using past subscription combinations to try to make something similar, it would be Ellen. So I don't know if Ellen was on earlier when I was talking about my friends that are going to be joining us on the Czech Republic trip in October, but Ellen and her husband are going with us. Yay!
Oh my God, yay!
And Ellen's a subscriber, so she's having lots of fun with all these combinations too.
I'm going to put these earrings on and then I'll flip around. And you can
so we can see the full effect.
Because I like a longer earring, but seriously, you could do fewer beads. So I'm just turning off for a second so I can flip without you seeing all kinds of insanity. So let's see. All right.
There you are.
So there they are.
They're not
super long.
No, they're not like shoulder dusters or anything, but and they're nice and lightweight, I bet, aren't they?
Yeah. So I love long earrings and big earrings, but I can't wear heavy earrings. So I'm always trying to be mindful of that. And that's the cool thing about using these kinds of beads is you can have a really cool earring and it's not going to be like hanging on your ear.
That looks exactly like a motion I've made. Oh, see, there you go. You achieved your goal of making me giggle.
I'm glad. I'm so glad.
It was like the T-Rex monster sort of impersonation.
You know what I want? I want one of those blow up dinosaur costumes. Have you guys seen all those videos of the kids and
my gosh,
those blow up and they like show up at like the airport or other I mean, it's hilarious. They do all kinds of hilarious things in these dinosaur costumes. I want one of those.
Deb, you belong in Jackson. I'm fully convinced you're going to live here someday because my girlfriend that has a candle shop, she used to be kitty corner from my store, and she might have the dinosaur one, but I know for a fact she has a unicorn one. Oh. And it's so freaking cute. And she'd put it on, or she'd make her mother wear it for like promotional purposes and run around in the street in it. Yeah, Jen's awesome.
It makes me laugh probably harder than I should, but I do think it's funny, and yeah. So I don't know. I kind of like a dinosaur,
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a dinosaur?
Rawr. Yeah. Sometimes I feel a little bitey, like little T-Rex action, like chomp.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, and sometimes it's just necessary.
Yes. Yes. Just to like fend off our enemies.
Yes. Yes. And Cassandra, I have so many other ideas. So I'm going to be posting in the group because of these. So this combo is singing to me. It's the little ladybugs.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I was going to ask you if you had even begun to like dig through those, because I know you got your beads in like short order at the same time almost, even though it wasn't intended to go that way.
And then there's kind of this monochromatic look I was going for, but then I almost thought like adding in some green with these guys would be fun.
Yes. Very like soft, subtle florals, even though there's like a bunch of bright colors in that like combination too. That's awesome.
So I have them in little dishes off to the side. If we were gonna sit here all night, I'd make more stuff, but I am going to make those and then I'll post in the group. And I still have to post the pendant piece that I made in our last live. I'm gonna put this on chain, and so I'm gonna post that too. Because I never posted that one. So I'll post all that stuff in the group. And, if you guys want to name these wonky earrings, that would be cool. So that, maybe I should just call them wonky earrings. If nobody can come up with a name for me, then they might just be that.
The Beads in Progress group would be I bet that, like there's lots of people in there, and I bet the folks in there would have fun giving you some ideas for those.
Yeah. So I'll get those posted tomorrow and see what we can come up with, and then I'll start putting these other ideas together. I'll also share the bracelet and earrings too that I made, because these are so simple to make, but they're just so. It's all about the beads.
It is all about the beads.
You don't have to make something like super complicated for you to have a really beautiful piece of jewelry, because the beads are doing all the talking.
Yeah. And the orange, that little pop of orange in there with the fuchsia and the turquoise is just like, I feel like I'm going to see you wearing that all summer long.
I've got a lot of summer and spring clothing that will go with these things very nicely.
Yay! Well, you guys, I just dropped. Deb has a beautifully organized link tree. And if you don't know what that is, just follow the link and it'll show you all the places that you can watch Deb and stalk her on the internet. And we just want to show her lots of love because she shares so many beautiful designs with us. So thank you so much, Deb, for all your beautiful work tonight.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for sharing your beautiful beads with me. And thank you for everybody being here and being patient with me while I make something kind of a little too weird.
Never. I told you, you're never going to get a yes from me on that question. Oh, well, you guys, thanks for putting up with me being a ghost in the background. I just was a little blotchy right before the video and felt like it was just maybe a night where, thank goodness. And Deb looks so cute. It's like, we're just gonna put her face up there for the night. But I sincerely appreciate everyone and my local customers too. Our hours have been a little inconsistent week to week. And so if anybody has shown up out there at my door and I haven't been there, I hope you know that I we'll work hard to get back to a more consistent schedule when we can. But I appreciate you all so much. And Deb, we're going to have to talk about our next date because it sounds like you got enough beads to play with for another video at least.
At least one more.
At least one more. I mean, I saw your box last time, maybe a whole handful of videos without any new beads. But if I didn't send you new beads, it would just feel weird.
Well, we'll do something and it will be fun.
Yes, awesome. Well, everybody have a wonderful evening, and make sure if you have not registered for the next set of subscriptions, the clock is ticking, and after this weekend, I will be closing registration so that I can get the rest of those beads ordered. So we will look forward to sharing lots of new things with you guys, and we'll see you soon, okay? Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Wave at the camera. Bye, guys.
Bye.